It's a crime.
It's a crime. So, no, absolutely it's priority.
There seems to be a decline in the number of vehicles that have been seized. In 2012 it was 39,000. At the moment it's just under 29,000. Is there an explanation for that?
Operation Cubo. Well, I think first of all there is a bit of an awareness. So I think one of the things, and colleagues from the Motor Insurance Bureau will probably have a comment on this. We've been doing this, as you know, since October 11 we started this. And ramped it up, and it is absolutely something that is in sort of now the DNA of the organisation. We're doing at least 2 Cubos, excuse me, as we call them, the operational name, a month. We're working with the Motor Insurance Bureau to see if there's potential to even expand that. So could we do something different? Could we look at some innovative funding models? Because there is some anecdotal information that the work we've done around London has had an impact on uninsured driving in London. Whether that's the same across the rest of the UK, we don't know. In fact, I think the stuff we're getting from the Motor Insurance Bureau suggests uninsured driving outside London is going up. So it is still very much part of our DNA of how we work. We're going to continue doing this. I don't think any of us, as you don't, make any apologies for it. We know about 70% of uninsured drivers have a criminal record. They're more likely to be involved in a collision.
And hit and run, of course.
And hit and run, with everything that goes with that. So it is very much part of what we do and will continue to do.
The problem is hit and run incidents are increasing.
Yes.
And yet the number of uninsured cars that have been stopped is decreasing. How do you explain that decrease? Because that worries me.
Well, no, I think there's a number of things. First of all, I think some of the early days of the easy pickings have gone. So we know that when we first started this, some of the feedback we got from people was people were flabbergasted that A, we had the power to do it, and B, we were doing it. In terms of, literally setting up the system, bing, run, off, vehicle gone, crushed. And I think that message has got out to people. I think we have, it's increasingly varying where we do it, how we do it. So I don't think just the numbers going down can be a change of behaviour in uninsured drivers in London. So we're hoping that's starting to get the message that if you drive uninsured in London, you will get caught. The one around hit and run, I think there are 2 or 3 things with the hit and run piece. Increasingly the use of both video and CCTV, and then the punishment people get for leaving the scene of an accident, we all need to look at, because it should carry a significant weight and punishment and people off the roads. I'm a simple person. That's what it did 30 years ago when I was about walking. If you're uninsured, you're coming off the roads and you're staying off the roads. And if you hit and run, you're staying off the roads. You're not going to drive.
I've actually crushed an illegal car. It was great. We did it next to a road, and you should have seen the horrified drivers going past. Yeah. They thought we were just taking the cars and crushing them, but it was a sort of set-up.
No, I agree. It's a cost to every one of us. Not just in your pocket, but it's a cost to communities. Colleagues in the health service will tell us the cost of a fatal road traffic collision. It's an enormous amount of money. We've got to get uninsured drivers off the roads, and this is a great way of doing it.
My concern is that when you merged the traffic police with the transport command, that there was less focus on the uninsured. I know the Commissioner is very keen on that sort of activity.
We look at Cubo as part of our performance pack is one of our key ones, and I can assure you, if the numbers start going the wrong way, or if there's not been an initiative for a while, people get asked questions around it. And as I say, one of the things, and it's very early days yet, so please don't say read it as a policy, but we're talking to the Motor Insurance Bureau about could we put even more dedicated resources around this and fund it in a different way that benefits both the industry, but more importantly benefits London.
I think there's a net amount of about £4.5 million that you make from the seizures after costs and so on.
Yeah, it actually does depend a bit. Because I've tried to dig into those figures a couple of times, and candidly, the figures move when you push them, which never quite reassures me. Only in terms of we put quite a lot of cost in up front. I'm not sure I'd ever want to portray this as a way of making money.
Well, on the contrary, I think it would be quite right to make money from this, because these are crimes, and I haven't got any problem with the vehicles being seized. But it sort of depends for me on where the money goes. So does the money from those seizures go into other road safety measures, reduction of road danger, or do they just go into the general pot?
I think, and my assumption is it just comes back into general core budget, but I'll check that for you.
Because that would be a quite useful way of justifying it, wouldn't it, if it went straight back into reducing that sort of danger. You say that there's no loss of enthusiasm. I just wonder still about this reduction. I just find it very difficult to believe that there are so many fewer illegal vehicles on the road, because as costs go up, as life becomes harder, in fact, people, they do try to get away with it.
But and I think there are a number of areas where we're working as well, to give you some reassurance with our colleagues nationally, to say, so there's some legislative change at the moment. At the moment, it's if you're caught driving it on the road. If we could have the power to seize it where found, so sitting outside a block of flats, it's uninsured, seize it and crush it. Well, so with the Motor Insurance Bureau, with our colleagues nationally, we are talking to colleagues in government about could we move the legislative framework around it, because often you can find an officer's will, they'll walk estates and walk parts of London and find vehicles, but at the moment the power for seizure is it's used on the road. If we could change that threshold to where found, I think that could be quite a step forward.
Does that need, what sort of legislation does that need?
I don't know if it's primary or if we can do it through a statutory instrument, but we're working with a colleague, the Chief Constable of Gloucestershire, Suzette Davenport, and we're working with the Motor Insurance Bureau to say, go on, what are the implications of that and how could we do that sort of thing?
It's a jolly good idea.
Well, if you need me to take it through the House of Lords, just shout.
That's a really good idea.
We may well take you up on that offer.
Really good.
Andrew and Ken want to come in.
Well, two quick points. I mean, one issue